Hello, my dears. Welcome to the Spicy Stories channel, where you will find several spicy stories. I want to share with you a story that happened to me. Stay until the end of the video because you will learn everything about my story that I had never told before. But I plucked up the courage, and I want to invite you at the end. I am already happy to see you here, so let's go. It was an ordinary summer afternoon in Austin, Texas, when it all began. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I am a 24-year-old young woman, recently graduated in business administration, trying to balance the transition to adulthood with a healthier lifestyle. It was this search that led me to a modern and crowded gym in the city center. I was never a gym rat. In fact, I always found it uncomfortable to deal with giant mirrors and the feeling of being judged. But at that time, I was determined to change. So I did something I never thought I would do. I hired a personal trainer. And that's how I met Jake Carter. Jake was everything you'd expect from a personal trainer. Tall, with slightly disheveled brown hair, a smile that seemed to light up the room, and a body that spoke of years of dedication. But what caught my attention most were his eyes, green and intense, with a look that seemed to see right through me. "So you're Sarah," he said at our first session, extending his hand. "Nice to meet you. Let's make this count." For the first few weeks, our relationship was purely professional. Jake was disciplined and demanding, but also incredibly encouraging. He knew exactly how to motivate me without making me feel overwhelmed. Sometimes he'd make jokes to ease the tension, and I'd find myself laughing more than I expected. He had a way of making me feel at ease, even when I was sweaty and out of breath. "Come on, Sarah. Just 5 more reps. You can do it," he'd say. His tone of voice a mix of firmness and encouragement. And I could. I didn't want to disappoint him. It was around week 4 that I realized something was changing. It wasn't just my body that was changing, but also my feelings toward Jake. I was starting to look forward to our sessions, not just the workout, but his company. He also seemed to be more relaxed around me. Sometimes I would catch him looking at me differently, as if he were seeing more than just a client. One day, after a particularly intense workout, Jake suggested we do a final stretch together. He held my legs to help me through a movement, and for a moment our eyes met. My heart raced. "You're progressing really well," he said, with a smile that seemed more personal than professional. From that moment on, the tension between us became palpable. Each session felt charged with an energy that hadn't been there before. The conversations became more personal. He started asking about my life outside of the gym, my hobbies, and my plans for the future. I also learned that he was 28 years old, loved surfing, and had a weakness for tacos. One night after a workout, Jake approached me as I was packing up my things. "Sarah, do you have a minute?" he asked, his tone sounding hesitant. "Sure," I replied, trying not to show how much my heart was racing. "I know this might be inappropriate, but I can't help it. I like you, Sarah, and not just as my client." For a moment, I was speechless. I felt the same way, but I never thought he would say anything. Finally, I said, "I like you too, Jake. More than I should." From that moment, everything changed. We started seeing each other outside of gym hours. At first, we tried to keep things low-key, but it was impossible to hide the connection between us. One night, after a late workout, Jake suggested we stay and close the gym together. With all the other clients and staff gone, the atmosphere felt different, more intimate. "Shall we do an impromptu workout?" he asked, a mischievous glint in his eye. I agreed, and we ended up laughing and teasing each other as we competed in little challenges. Eventually, he pulled me close and kissed me. It was intense, full of desire and a touch of vulnerability. In that moment, there was no doubt. We were completely invested. The gym dates became an exciting secret. There was something incredibly exhilarating about being with him in that space, a place that symbolized growth and transformation for me. We spent nights together exploring Austin, discovering hidden restaurants, and watching the sunset over Lady Bird Lake. But it wasn't all that simple. I knew that eventually we would have to deal with reality. Our relationship could raise ethical questions in the gym, and the fear of judgment worried me. Jake, however, always assured me that it was worth the risk. "I've never felt this way before, Sarah. You're special," he would say, and I believed him. Over time, our relationship grew stronger, and we decided it was time to come out to those closest to us. To our surprise, most people responded well, recognizing the undeniable chemistry between us. Jake became not only my coach, but my partner, my confidant, and my biggest cheerleader. Life, however, had its ways of testing our connection. One afternoon, Jake received an offer to open his own gym in San Diego, a long-time dream of his. When he told me, I could see the mix of excitement and concern in his eyes. "I want you to come with me, Sarah," he said, taking my hands, "but I understand if that's too much to ask." I was torn. Austin was my home, the place where my career was just starting to take off. But the idea of being without Jake was unbearable. After weeks of reflection and many conversations, we decided to try a long-distance relationship temporarily while I organized my life to move to San Diego. The months that followed were challenging. The distance brought insecurities and homesickness, but it also strengthened our bond. We spent hours on video calls, planning our future together. Jake worked tirelessly to open the gym, while I looked for job opportunities in California. Finally, the day of the move arrived. Saying goodbye to Austin was painful, but the excitement of starting a new life with Jake outweighed the fear of the unknown. When I arrived in San Diego, he was waiting for me at the airport with a bouquet of flowers and that smile that always melted my heart. At that moment, I knew I had made the right decision. San Diego brought new challenges and new opportunities. Working alongside Jake at the gym was a transformative experience. I discovered an unexpected passion for helping others achieve their health goals, something I never imagined for myself. Our relationship blossomed amidst these new beginnings. But it wasn't all easy. There were stressful moments, especially during the first few months of the gym. Difficult clients, financial issues, and long work hours tested our patience and our love. Yet, each obstacle we overcame together made us stronger. One night, after a particularly tiring day, Jake surprised me with dinner on the beach. Under the starry sky, he got down on one knee and, with tears in his eyes, proposed to me. "Sarah, you have changed my life in ways I never imagined. I want to spend the rest of my days with you. Will you marry me?" With my heart overflowing with happiness, I said yes. That night marked the beginning of a new chapter in our lives, one filled with love, challenges, and growth. Over the next few years, we built a life together, balancing work, family, and our own dreams. Jake continued to be my biggest supporter, and I his. Our story, which began with a simple decision to join a gym, became proof that true love can emerge in the most unexpected places. I look back with gratitude for every moment that brought us here. Jake wasn't just the man who changed my life. He was the partner who helped me become the best version of myself. And for that, I will be forever grateful. I'm glad you made it this far. Now I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to receive all of our videos. Like, share, and leave in the comments what you thought of my story. I promise I'll read and like your comment. I'll stop here and see you in the next video, okay? See you then.